Hey there guys and gals, it's me, nirex, and welcome back to Beginner C++ Programming. So in this video we're going to talk about the switch case statement. Let me actually name it switch case. So, some people call it the switch statement, some people call it the switch case statement. I'm just going to call it switch case, just for, just because. So I'm just add that guy right there, because it has to. So, just like if statement, which was the number 1 in our conditional statements, switch will be the number 2, the second one, the second number. It's the second element. So switch case is the second conditional statement that we're going to use. Not the last one, just the second one. Now, in if, we did something like this. So if something, else, if something else, another else if, maybe 10 more else ifs, and then else, okay? So if this guy applies, we skip all these other guys. If this guy doesn't apply, we check this guy until it applies. For instance, let's say this guy applies. When this guy applies, we skip all these guys. If none of these guys apply, this guy will automatically happen. Now, switch is a better way of doing it. If you have to write tons and tons of else-if statements, you can easily write a switch, but not in all cases. There are differences between if and switch statements, which we will cover. So let's talk about switch. Now, let's say you have an int I, which has some value, right? Now, in if statement, we can compare this, right? If I equals 1, which means if I is 1, then we'll do whatever we want to do here. If I is 2, we will do whatever we want to do here. So this guy will evaluate into either a true or, a false. It'll evaluate into either a true or a false, right? True or false, which is stupid because it'll always happen. So this will evaluate into either true or false. So we give this guy right here, inside the parentheses of the if statement, some Boolean value. We give it some Boolean value. If that Boolean value applies, if our condition applies, this will happen. Else if also takes the same thing, else doesn't. Now switch, when we want to use a switch, we just write switch, and that's it. Let me just go ahead and take that out. We don't really need to care about that just yet. I'll tell you what that is in the end of this video. Not the end, but yeah. So switch is a bit different, okay? Instead of just writing an if right here, we will write switch, right? But switch doesn't evaluate, it doesn't really take a Boolean value. So in if, whatever you put here, if it's 0, it won't happen. If it's not 0, okay, if it's non-zero, when we're talking if, this guy will happen. Whatever it may be, it will happen. If it's 0, it won't happen. Now it's a bit different with switch. Switch doesn't really give a damn about the Boolean evaluation of this guy right here. It cares about the value itself. So when we want to write something like this, switch I, we are going to switch on I. This is the term to use when we want to switch, use switch. So we switch on I. Now, when you want to switch on something, you have to be careful that you're going to switch, you're going to care about the values, you're going to switch on the values, okay? So, the next keyword to use is the case keyword, case column, and break. Now, between the two, between the last E and this guy right here, we put the desired value. So, case 5. This means if the value of I is 5, whatever comes here will happen. So if this guy is 5, if I is 5, this will happen. I can do case 1. If I is 1, this will happen. Now we definitely need to put the break here, because if we don't, there will be a ton to pay. Okay, and I will tell you exactly what. So we can do switch case statement like this, and do make note, there can never be two values of the same thing. They can never be two cases that have this, that share the same value. Switch on case 1, something will happen. Again on case 1, it's stupid, it won't happen. So 1, 2, 3, let's say 4. Or let's actually say 16, 18, 21. You know, the driver's license age, the adult age, and the drinking age. Yeah, baby. That's basically what we're doing. Well, let's also do... No, never mind. So, we switch on this guy, okay? I'll just rename it to age. When we switch on this guy, state Cout driving age, adulthood age, and we can also say something like drinking age or rage. Anyhow, so this is basically what happens when we're switching on a variable, and we can only switch on variables. I can't switch on 4, it's stupid. It only takes 4. I mean, I can, but it's stupid. It's like saying we are our friends, you know, some stupid goddamn nonsense. This is also quite the nonsense, okay? It's quite shitty. We don't do that. We switch always on variables or other things, but variables or enumerations or, you know, things like that. We don't switch on values. We don't switch on 4. We don't switch on 2. We switch on age, which can be any value. So we always switch on this guy. Now, this guy can be 16, 18, or 21. So if it's 16, else if it's 18, else if age is equal to 21, and the else statement, which would be default. So the default case is the else statement, which means if none of these guys apply, this guy will. Std cout boring. Now let me actually put one right here, so whatever case happens, std and l. Now let's actually give it something else to do as well. Cn age, I should put that right there, and let me just say something like std cout. What the hell am I doing? There we go. Enter your age. And that's it. Let me just do something like that. So include Connie O and do get ch, or underline get ch, and that's basically it. So this one is switch. We switch on a value, and we switch, and these are only the equation values. If the value is equal to 16, we can't do greater than or less than. Okay, you can only do equal to with cases. Is it equal to 16? If this is exactly like an if statement, this is the else if statement. This is the else. This is another else if. So if I want to write it with if age is 16, else if age is 18. Else if age is 21, and this guy right here will be just the else. So now you have a pretty strong grip, mental grip on exactly what switch is. Let's run it and see how it works. So if I say something like 16, it will definitely give me the driving age. You know, I can finally drive when I'm 16. If I do something like 18, adulthood age. Yay, I'm an adult. I can do stuff now. If I do it 21, the drinking age. I can do drinking. I can drink whatever I want. And this is basically how it works. Now, if I give it a nonsense age, yeah, boring age, alright? Whatever, it can be anything you want. Like 569, boring. You've been alive for half a goddamn millennia. More than half a millennia. I think you're pretty damn boring. So that's basically it with switch case statement. Now, let's talk about this break guy right here. If I take this out, something will happen. The thing that will happen, we call it falling through. It will fall through. So if I take all these break guys away, I want them to fall through. falling through, falling through, falling through, and falling through. Falling through means this case, the case that we happen to be on, let's say case 16, will happen, then it will not break. It will just fall through and go here. It will fall through and go here. So if I do something like 16, driving age, adulthood age, drinking age, boring. Everything was shown to me. I just wanted this, but it fell through. It showed me everything. If I do something like 18, adulthood age, drinking age, boring. Adulthood age, which is here, drinking age, which is here, and boring, which is here. If I do 21, drinking age and boring. If I do anything else, like 29, it will just give me boring because obviously this is the last case. We don't really need a break here, but we just put it here for the sake of completeness. Just so we know that we put that there, just so we know that we are complete. So we definitely need the break here so it won't have the problem of falling through. Alright, it won't fall through the next case. And without checking for it, it will happen. So it will be a bit different from else if you take this break out, but it will work. Now break also works on if. So I can say if age is 5, we can do std out. Let's just say test 1, and we could do something like test 2. And we do std out. Oh, I'm sorry, stand out. That's all we care about. Let's just do a get ch here for our program not to go any further. Now, if I do it right now, if I say age is 5, test 1 and test 2 will both be printed. But if I break out of my if here, well, I can't really use a break here, but I want to just what I want to say is that yeah, well, why did I do that? I can break out of a while. I can't really break out of a thing. So we'll talk about this later. But when you break, okay, when I say 5, test 1 will happen, then test 2 will not be printed. So it can be used on if, and I mistook that for while for goddamn reason. I don't know why, but I did that. So yeah, what break means is when you break, you come out of this bigger scope. Now these guys, I don't know why C does it, why Visual Studio does it. It should be like this. Okay, they should go one step further. Okay, it's just stupid when they don't do that. So when you break out of the case statement and out of the switch statement. All right, so you break out of here and you break out of here. Now this is the thing. Now I think it's better to understand like this. So you will break out of the biggest scope that this scope right here, not the biggest scope, this scope. And that's what break is for. So you will not fall through. And this has been the video for switch case statement. It's quite easy, quite peasy, nothing to worry about. What I want you to do for your homework is write something similar to this one. You can also use if statements here as well. If age is more than 10, for instance, which obviously it is. Is it 18? Yes. Is it more than 10? Well, god damn it, duh. Yeah, it is. So yeah, what I'm saying is you can use that guy here. Now what I want you to do is write something similar to this one so that it's just a thing. I don't really have an example for it. It's quite simple, quite easy. You don't really need to write anything to understand it. I just need you to write it for the sake of simplicity. But try to do it out of memory, okay? Just watch this video, close this video, go to your IDE, whatever it may be, Dev C++, or that other thing, code blocks or whatever, and just do this real thing real quick, just something, whatever you want it to be, like, maybe something like, I don't know, you have a character, has a health attribute, is it 100, you are on full health, is it on 200, maximum health, or whatever you want. So just write whatever you want here. It doesn't really matter, it doesn't have to be anything specific, and if you have any issues, do watch this video with this guy again, and with me. And yeah, if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, do write them in the comments. I would really appreciate it. Also, if you like this video, do leave a like. I would really appreciate it. And if you really like this video, do subscribe. I would again really appreciate it. Anyhow, this has been for this video, and I will see you in the next one.